Good evening, it's Joshua Taylor coming to you from here in North Bend, British Columbia, about an hour from Hope. And a few days ago I woke up and I felt the unction of the Holy Spirit that now is the time that the Father would send forth a warning on the West Coast to prepare for this coming mega quake that the Lord showed me back in 1988. So I'm calling this the Exodus 2, like a second Exodus, Exodus 2 Live. And so it's going to be made up of a series of podcasts, and however, as the Lord leads me. So probably I'm going to take that new printer the Lord blessed me with, and I'm going to put this banner on the top, and that way I'll still be able to to use the board. But the primary objective of the Exodus 2 Live is to help you prepare for people to come together to prepare for the big one. There is a big one coming. I believe we're very close to a mega quake, to a mercy quake of 7 point and above on the West Coast. And David Terrell, God's prophet to the world, he saw this many years ago as a sign of a dead raising revival, where the sons of God stand to their feet. And so we know that this shaking is coming on the West Coast. We know that there's going to be a revival that's going to break out between Vancouver, Abbotsford, and Seattle. There's going to be a major move of God. So when this revival earthquake takes place, that will begin the countdown to prepare to leave out or to flee the West Coast. The earthquake that the Lord showed me, He didn't show me the magnitude from what others saw. It'd be a 9 point plus, 9.1 or 2, and 24 hours after this initial quake, it would be followed by a 12.2. So there's no way that you'd be able to stay within the lower mainland in Vancouver and Vancouver Island and expect to survive this final judgment that's coming. So when this precursor earthquake comes, when this wake up earthquake comes, it will begin the countdown to prepare to leave out of the West Coast. And once I get the printer going, I can do this up. This also correlates with what the Lord showed Chuck Youngbrandt and the 3-year timeline leading up to the Russian and Chinese invasion of the United States of America. So we know that's coming. And as far as I can understand by observing the events, if next year is the beginning of the timeline, this should be 2020, right? 2020 to 2021. In this area here, we're going to see, if this is the first year of Chuck Youngbrandt's timeline, what the Lord showed him, then we're going to see New Orleans in the month of September is going to be hit by a major hurricane, followed by an earthquake on the 19th of September in St. Louis, a 6.4 to a 7.4. Then in December of that same year, there's going to be 4 cities in the eastern United States that's going to be hit by a strike from Russia and an accidental nuclear strike. So if that happens, this is going to substantiate the first year of Chuck Youngbrandt's timeline. Then that following April will, this is the possibility, if it is, if this is 2020, 2021, in April of 2021 we could see this exodus take place, or it could be in 2022 in the month of April, because it will happen in the month of April. The Lord made it clear when He took me into the 7 open visions. So this is to prepare you, and one of the key elements for preparation is that the remnant needs to wake up first. That's the revival. The remnant needs to wake up, and they need to begin to come together, network together, downsize, and begin to come together in Goshen camps, temporary camps. So when the time comes, when the sign of the beast is given in Nanaimo, that will be the sign for everyone to leave, everyone along the North American coast and other places, because this is when the major judgment comes. And I knew in the spirit when the evacuation was happening here on the west coast, when the Lord showed me that 50-mile convoy, 50 miles in length, over 10,000 vehicles, and in the midst of those vehicles I saw 5 miles of transport trucks, and they were fully geared up with survival gear, with portable housing. I knew that they had everything. I didn't get to see it, but I knew that under on the back of their trucks they were tarped, but I knew that they were well prepared. So an exodus of this magnitude, right, away from the west coast, where the Lord showed me 10,000 vehicles, that could be upwards, anywhere between 30 to 50,000 people. The remnant, the ones that are going to, they're going to wake up, they're going to hear, and they're going to prepare, and when the time comes, that they'll be ready to go. So it's going to take, people networking together, downsizing to where when the time comes that they'll just have to jump in and go. Going to leave it here, and I wanted to do this for the last couple of days, but I've been so busy. I'm renovating a log cabin, I'm renovating a trailer, and the Lord blessed me with another renovation of a small house. Not too much there, but since moving back to North Bend here, God's opened up the door for work. And at the same time, I'm going to start up on the Joe pipe technology. Just give me a minute. I'm going to show you something. I'm hoping this is recording. Okay. This is the new feature to the Joe pipe. The Joe pipe actually goes onto here. And so this is going to connect onto a T, a steel T. That's going to go down where it's actually going to be mounted on the back of my van. That way I'll be able to test. And I'm going to design a new pipe out of copper. I'll probably make one out of quartz pipe where it's transparent. And I want to try a different venue of testing to try to see if it's possible to go from a laminar burn to a vortex burn. And that's where I've seen the many quantum anomalies in the past of many thousands of degrees. So my end goal is to be able to take the perfection of the fuel and turn it into an unlimited heat source, and this would be for the body. And one of the first things I would like to do, this would be fired up on propane and air, normal operation, and the front of the flame I want to use that for gasification, and I'm going to have my bubbler set up where I can actually make a combine water and gasoline together to form a fuel vapor. I've already tried it and it works, and inject it as a secondary burn just to see whether it's going to supercharge the flame. And also I'll be able to preheat it and to see if the heat and the water and the gas vapor is going to increase the productivity. And but this is for the body. And in 2004, the Lord gave me the dream on this. And a week later, He spoke to me in an audible voice in a second dream, and He said that the Joe pipe technology, it wasn't called that then. He said that that the perfection of the fuel will lead to the discovery of unlimited heat, and which would be the plasma range, and that would be the #1 discovery of the century. And this I can get out to the people. So what I'm working toward is to generate a heat source that's affordable, maybe 1/3 of the conventional cost, and where it has enough mass heat that you can use it for gasification of plastic and all waste, where that could be turned into a biofuel, and from there it can be processed. So I know it's I know it's time to. Now the Lord always puts peace in my heart when I do these experiments, and I haven't done nothing for 3 years, so this is going to be quite exciting for me. Going to leave it here. This is Joshua Taylor, Donald E. Taylor, coming to you from here and North Bend, British Columbia, Canada.